Alright, fellow custom rod builders, this video is for those of you who have purchased or are looking to purchase the Tip Top Wrapping Assistant for the CRB, Pack Bay, or American Tackle rod stands. If you're unsure as to whether or not this is going to fit your particular stand, if you measure the center to center distance between this screw in this screw, and if it's 20 millimeters, it will fit. If yours is not, feel free to message me and we can get a different base plate here for your specs. So in your kit, you're going to get two M4 by 30 millimeter screws, two M4 by 20s, and then three M4 nuts. You'll get your base plate, and then you'll get your, I call it leg, with the foam pad pre-installed. These holes right here are drilled so you can put a rubber band through, and then this peg is so you can wrap that rubber band around if the rubber band ever breaks or anything. That way it keeps the tip top of the rod down secure on this adapter or wrapping assistant firmly in place. So first thing, take your stuff, set it off to the side. You're going to want to grab your stand. It's going to look like this. I would suggest taking it off of your rod lathe track, and that's going to be the easiest way to work on it. You're then going to need a Phillips or standard screwdriver that will work, and remove both of these. And it's not going to matter which wheel goes on which side, because you can simply just switch the apparatus around if you don't have it on the right side by simply taking this screw off this tab and switching it 180 degrees. So once that's done, you're going to take these screws that you took off of the stands right there. You're going to set those off to the side. Your included M4 by 20 screws are going to replace those. So once that's done, you're going to take your leg here. Actually, let's start with the base. And you're going to inspect all the holes. You can see this one. See the little curlies going through the hole there. If you want, you just take a standard screwdriver and clear those out, just like that. Once that's done, you just go through and make sure all the other holes are clear, and then do the same thing with the leg. This is a slot that you're going to be putting one of the M4 nuts into. You can see there's a little extra piece of plastic there. Just go ahead and take a little standard screwdriver and break that guy off. And then same with the other side. This one kind of looks like it needs it. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just residue from the printing process for 3D printing. Now once that's done, all you got to do is take your leg and your M4 nut, and it's a 6-sided nut, so I don't know if it'll focus, but you're going to want to put two sides in there parallel, just like that, if you can see that, and then get that guy, push him down in there. It should go in fairly easy. If it's not, you want to try and get it out before you push it in there all the way, and then try cleaning it more with your standard screwdriver, but there shouldn't be really any issues. Take the other side, do the same thing, push that guy in there. Like I said, it shouldn't take a whole lot of force. It should be a nice smooth push. Once that's done, take your base, and this one is meant to be pretty tight, so you're going to start this in there just like that. You can see I can't get it in there very far, so I'm going to put it on the table, push down to get it started, and then take one of your M4 by 30 screws and start screwing it into the base for the other side of the nut, and you're going to want to start just threading it into that nut. Take your Allen wrench, and the whole purpose of this is just to suck that nut down into the channel there that I have, so the nut is completely captive. So you're just going to want to keep turning this guy until that nut is fully seated. And you'll know when it gets close because it's going to start getting fairly hard. It doesn't need to be completely seated. It just needs to be all the way, most of the way down there. When you mount it to the rod stand, you can finish tightening it up completely, but you just need to get it most of the way in there so you don't have to worry about it, about the M4 by 20 bolt not reaching the threads. So you can see it's pretty well seated in there. Now we can make the two pieces together. So you'll line the flat side up with this right here, and you'll see that these two holes line up like that. You're going to want to take your M4 by 30s, your long ones, put one on the top, one on the bottom. Once you have the one of them in there, grab your other one and start that one as well. Then you don't have to worry about the base here spinning around the leg. And basically, the reason I could have printed this and had it all as one piece, but having it as two pieces allows me to ship it more securely. There will be less breakages because we all know the postman isn't always gentle with the packages. So once you have that going, you'll just tighten it through until you see that space become basically no space, and until it feels snug on the Allen wrench. Keep going with both of them. This also allows you to, if for some reason you break one of these pieces, you don't have to buy a whole new adapter, and it'll be cheaper that way for replacements. Although these are printed very strong, not really sure how you would break one of these. Maybe you get angry and whip this stand at the wall. I don't know, but if you do, we can certainly set you up with a new one. So now you can see these are fully seated. They're flush. If they're not flush, you're going to want to back your M4 bolt out and try reinserting it. These nuts will be holding this securely in place. Now once that's there, you can go back to the stand, and it doesn't matter which way you put it, which way you put this on there, whichever side, because you can always flip it around, but you have to start with the inner wheel. So once you have the inner wheel, take your M4 by 20, and I print these with pretty tight tolerances for the M4 bolts, so you're going to be slightly creating threads in the plastic pieces, which is just going to help things hold together. So once you've got this out a good ways, put that on there. And the wheels you're seeing right here, they have the optional the optional O-rings that you can purchase with the kit. These I found they fit on the standard wheels, but they're a lot bigger, so they don't allow the ice rod tips like the noodle rods to easily slip through. So once you have that nut coming out, you're going to want to start it into the stand there. And this inside one's the hardest one. If you have an extended Allen wrench, you're going to want to use it. If not, it'll just take a couple extra turns. But it should thread in there nice. The only issue, because we did actually slightly cut threads because the tolerances are so tight between the plastic, you guys can't even see that, between the plastic and the bolt here, that when you finally go to seat this, you might find it a little difficult at first because you're actually having to pull through those plastic semi-threads that you cut in there. This is hard to do at this angle. So once that's like somewhat snug and this is, you know, protruding, go ahead, grab your other wheel, your other nut, or sorry, your other bolt, and then go ahead and thread that through on the other side. And this one's going to be threading into that nut that you pulled through on the other side of the base. So when you get there, this should feel like a pretty firm tightening. And you want these to be pretty tight. You don't want there to be any space up against here. If there is, you're going to have alignment issues with where the wheels are and where the end there is. So once that's fully tightened, you can come back to this one and really snug him up. And there you are. This is going to definitely help you wrap noodle rod tip tops a lot easier. Any tip tops for that matter, for rods that have a little more bend at the top than usual. So, if you're looking for one of these, you can find one at www.muddogrods.com and we can set you up with one. Like I said, if your center to center distance between these two bolts is not 20 millimeters, let me know and we can get you set up with one that will work for you. Thanks for watching.